So this is a item where I just kind of wanted to show how difficult it can be to chase some of these messy setups. And in this particular case, here's some radar from July 13th. We had a couple supercells develop. I was right on the one that basically formed in northwest Sueur County, Minnesota. And I followed the hook all the way down for the most part, but it is not the best road network or sight lines moving through Sueur County and down into Waseca County. So I ended up taking some back roads and getting caught a few times here. So never fully got its act together. Came close a time or two at producing a tornado, but never filled the beans. But for me, this was a great short home chase. So I left New Prague and I basically went a little bit to the southwest and the chase was on. The storm generally moved to the south-southeast. Not always the typical fashion we see with storms in this neck, but yeah. You can see too, I mean, it has a couplet on it, but it just does not persist. It struggles a little bit with balance. That was my chase length there, about an hour's worth drive in 15 minutes. A lot of zigzagging. This is the section of the video. That's what that road represents. So here I am, about 4 miles north of Lee Center, and I'm finally getting to see a little bit of structure. I'd actually been watching this as it developed, and it just really didn't look like anything. So most of the time here, I shroud that rain, kind of just in front of the couplet there. Sometimes going underneath, like right here, I'm almost slightly, underneath. But hey, look, we have a wall cloud finally. This is looking mainly to the west-southwest here. So Lee Center's kind of centered about right where that wall cloud is now, roughly speaking. Still nothing too cool. Hey, let's move some more. Well, the road network's not great. I don't want to go through the town of Lee Center, so I ended up cutting east, stopping northeast of Lee Center about 2.5-3 miles, where eventually I get stuck in the rain and get a little bit of hail at the time. And here's where I get hailed on just briefly. Nothing spectacular. And now I head south, and I'll be about 1.5 to 2 miles east of Lee Center here, and this is where it finally really wraps up. So see kind of that messy scud starting to swirl and actually form something. Again, I'm in the precip, just kind of letting it pass to my west-southwest. And bam, here we have a funnel, for a brief period of time. I really tried. You can kind of see the rain being ingested around it. So I continue south, the road tees off. I kind of held off a little bit because there was a fair amount of rotation, which you can kind of see here. I just sort of wanted to stay on that, this side of it. You can actually see the air sucking towards it from me. Again, just letting it pass to my south. So here we come to the T, and then this is where the road network really starts to suck because I end up hitting gravel roads and zigzaggy stuff. So now I kind of have to leave it, go back into the precip again, head east, and I'll meet up just before Lake Volney. I'll do a quick stop, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? Don't know. All right, so I'll keep driving east, I guess. So then I go around Lake Volney and go south and actually stay on mostly gravel roads after this pavement ends here until I get back on 13, just taking these country roads until then, which, I get glimpses here or there. I stopped once or twice during this stretch of the road just to let the rotation do its thing and the storm move. You can see the clear slot kind of on the right there, cutting in on it. And here we go. Wonderful visibility and roads, hills and a few trees, gravel roads. At least they're not clay. Just had that going for me today. So here we come up. Now I'm back on 13. Yay, good roads again, right? So we go south. I met up with 13 just around Kilkenny. And yeah, I'm hanging in the precip because there's plenty of rotation up kind of above it, which is a little hard to see with the raindrops, but you see a little bit of scud rising right over 13 in front of me. I decide that's not too dangerous apparently, so I just drive right underneath it because, you know, there's limited options. Either I go back into the precip or I kind of keep up with the storm going south-southeast. So here I stop and we pan my 360 cam up, and it really gives a good picture of what kind of was happening for a good portion of the time, but it's not always the easiest thing to capture in video. So kind of a nice rotating wall cloud going on there. And again, I'm getting hit by precip. That rear flank downdraft kind of wrapping around the backside. So we go through Waterville here. Again, lots of trees, hard to see anything, can't really stop anywhere. So we just travel along with the wall cloud, try to get a little space on it so I can stop for a while. Now when I get south of Waterville a ways here, I do a brief stop, and then I go south, and I just made a decision. I was like, I should probably go east after that. So I'm watching this swirl here. You can kind of see that right side moving in, and it's just sort of moving around. Like it's kind of centered where that tree is right now, really. And it's not really doing the business yet. So here we go. I'm going to pick it up, and I'll go back down 13, and then I'm going to take this jog over to go east, thinking I'm going to go over to 35. And I kind of am not committed, and then I think, oh boy, okay, let's go back to 13. Yeah, so this thing just continued to, I wouldn't even say cycle, because the entire time it was really kind of wrapping up. So it's just varying strength of rotation and stuff. Okay, now I take the real big jog to the east. I'm committed. I'm going to go over to 35. And here's where I realize I'm like, oh, if I go over there, I am going to be too far to the east. But let's just do it anyways. Maybe it won't be so bad. Nope. Oh, I got to go back. So now I backtrack. I go back underneath the rotating wall cloud to get back to 13, which is a couple miles down the road now. And here I go down on 13. So I made it great. Wasn't moving too fast for me. And then, of course, we have the great town of Waseca in our way, which any locals just kind of know that here we go through Waseca. You know, it can really take a dive on a chase because it just takes so much time to go through town. And then you can't see what's happening that entire time, right? So I get through Waseca and I do a couple brief stops on the other side. For a little bit, it looks okay, like it's still going to maintain structure. That's Highway 14 there. So is it doing stuff? I don't know. Let's sit and watch it, right? So we watch it for a little while. Kind of catches up with me again. Not looking the greatest. And so then I'll turn around here in a second and I'll jet just a couple miles south, and then I eventually realize, well, it's pretty much dead. Not much life in it. The structure starts to fall apart, basically about right here. And the radar too as well. The radar imagery didn't look so good. It did have a little try there. There was somewhat of a funnel on the right side, or whatever you want to call that. Just sort of an odd appendage way back off on the left side, behind the clear slot there for a little bit. So tried. Just really couldn't produce for the day. Now, there was another storm just to the east of this that actually did fairly well. But that's a typical chase in the Minnesota semi-wooded hilly area.